Hey guys, today I'll be presenting to you my topic, which is lipids, and we'll start off with some objectives that are several questions that I have written regarding lipids. And by the end of this video, if you have paid attention, you will be able to answer these questions. And we'll start off with what are lipids. They are a large and diverse group of naturally occurring organic compounds that are related by their solubility in nonpolar organic solvents like chloroform or acetone. They tend to be hydrophobic and nonpolar and insoluble in water. And some main functions of lipids are that they can store energy, provide insulation, make up cell membranes, form water repellent layers on leaves, and provide building blocks for hormones like testosterone. The lipids divide into two main groups, simple lipids and complex lipids, and the first type of simple lipids are fats, a category of molecules united by their inability to mix well with water. They consist of two kinds of parts, a glycerol backbone and free fatty acid tails. The second type of simple lipids are waxes. Waxes contain long fatty acid chains connected to alcohol by ester linkages, and they cover the feathers of some aquatic birds and the leaf surfaces of some plants, where its hydrophobic properties prevent water from soaking the surface. The complex lipids have, in addition to the fatty acids, alcohol chains, and some types of complex lipids are phospholipids, glycolipids, and steroids, which we will mention later on in the video. And yeah. But first we'll return to fats. Fats act as a building block in diets. There are two types of fats, saturated and unsaturated fats. The difference between saturated and unsaturated fats lie in the number of double bonds in the fatty acid chain. Saturated fatty acids lack double bonds between the individual carbon atoms, while in unsaturated fatty acids there is at least one double bond in the fatty acid chain. Saturated fats are solid at room temperature, while unsaturated fats are liquid. So, saturated and unsaturated fats are different kinds of fat found in different amounts in different foods, while full dairy products and meats, as well as many processed food like cakes and biscuits, are high in bad saturated fat. Great sources of good unsaturated fat include nuts, seeds, and vegetable oil. So, here I've drawn the organic compound chemical formula for saturated fats so that I can illustrate the double bond, and some foods which have saturated fat like dairy products like cheese, milk, and butter, also meat, burgers, chicken, hot dogs, cupcakes, ice creams, and so on. To cut out saturated fats completely from your diet if you want to slim down will be incredibly unhealthy because our body needs some saturated fat. So I would suggest that if you want to slim down, you should just minimize the intake of saturated fats and compensate with the intake of unsaturated fats. So again, here I've drawn the organic chemical formula, and I've drawn several types of food like fish, avocado, salmon, seeds, nuts, and tomatoes and olives. And for example, if you want to lower your cholesterol levels, you should intake more unsaturated fats than saturated fats. Another type of complex lipids are phospholipids. Phospholipids are a class of lipids that are a major component of all cell membranes. They can form lipid bilayers because of their amphiphilic characteristic. The structure of the phospholipid molecule generally consists of two hydrophobic fatty acid tails and a hydrophilic head, consisting of a phosphate group. As membrane components, phospholipids are selectively permeable, meaning that only certain molecules can pass through them to enter or exit the cells. And the main function is that phospholipids can be broken down in the cell and used for energy. They can also be split into smaller molecules called chemokines, which regulate a variety of activities in the cells, and they are used in pharmaceuticals. Glycolipids are another type of complex lipids. They are components of cellular membranes comprised of a hydrophobic lipid tail and one or more hydrophilic sugar groups linked by a glycosidic bond. Generally, glycolipids are found on the outer leaflet of cellular membranes, where it plays not only a structural role to maintain membrane stability, but it also facilitates cell-cell communication, acting as receptors, anchors for proteins, and regulators for signal transduction. Glycolipids play an important role in several biological functions, such as recognition and cell signaling events. And here I have listed some types and subtypes of glycolipids like glyceroglycolipids and glycosphingolipids. And the last type of complex lipids that we will talk today are steroids. Steroids are a biologically active organic compound with four rings arranged in a specific molecular configuration. They have two principal biological functions as important components of cell membrane, which alter membrane fluidity and as signaling molecules. There are two types of steroids, corticosteroids and anabolic androgenic steroids. Cortisol keeps your immune system from making substances that cause inflammation, while anabolic steroids are the man-made version of testosterone, a male sex hormone that helps build bigger muscles and that is illegal for athletes. And lastly, I have written some testable questions which you should answer now at the end of this video. And here are the works cited, and thank you so much for your attention and for watching this video.